Good afternoon, I'm Sunshine, and welcome to this wonderful place. This is bushland on Wakka Wakka Country in southeast Queensland, in Australia. Beautiful eucalypt forest here. That is, unfortunately, like most of southeast Queensland, in unmanaged forests, being completely overrun by Lantana, an invasive weed, and other weeds, but mainly Lantana. I've decided to start sharing the work that we're doing here on this bush, specifically the bush regeneration work that we're doing, and what I'd like to call, or probably what is called, syntropic regeneration, although probably regeneration is generally syntropic in its nature anyway, but really taking an active relationship with the bush to heal it from environmental harms such as invasive weeds that ultimately need to be managed. And yeah, I want to share that journey. I want to start sharing the work that we're doing. Just show me chipping away and what it looks like, and why I think it's so important, and why I love doing it, and why I think we should all be doing it, and why I would really love so many people to be doing it all over the country, if not all over the world. But what's close to my heart here is this country in Australia, as it is so precious and is ultimately really being ravaged by invasive species such as Lantana and other environmental harms that need to be managed. So yeah, we're gonna go on that journey. And I'm going to show you obviously the forest and sort of where we've been working and what we're going to be doing, and you're going to come along with me, and my parents who are actively helping in this, which is really interesting because I began seeing this bush just full of lantana and really crying deeply at how destructive this colonization is, in just that one aspect of destruction of the environment, of nature, of the natural country, with the introduction of this completely just hell weed that we don't hate, we do love, and we treat it with love and respect when we're getting it out, even though sometimes I could feel anger and frustration, especially when you see the absolute colossal amount of lantana there is. You can see some right behind me here, this sort of thickening bush here. Well, actually, that's a pile of ripped out lantana, so that's good stuff. But yeah, when I first saw the lantana in here, I absolutely was crying inside. But I just got into it. I was like, I want to start, and this is where I actually started. So this is where it began, on that bank over there of this beautiful water body here, this dam. And so this whole section here that you can see, this huge area which we'll walk around, completely lantana, and now you can see it's basically all gone. And I started over there, pulling it out at its roots, not using any poison, really being careful to see the first other saplings and seedlings coming up of native species, and making sure that they survived the the destruction that I was reaping. Because when you see what I'm talking about, when we start pulling out the lantana, because it roots so deeply. It's holding so much of the soil together, and it's holding so many seeds in the ground. And when you pull it out, you really are disrupting the earth. So to try and keep the native species there is quite a challenge. So, being really careful and getting through it and working through it. And my parents whose property we're on, and this is a private bushland. Well, this is bushland on private property. And they were absolutely reticent to think that was a valuable exercise, what I was doing, because they wanted to just open it a little bit for them to come down, for them to come down and use it, and that's it. But I kept going, and I was like, no, we need to actually heal this bush. Like, we need to heal this bush one step at a time. Like, there's just too much lantana here, and it's going to eat the forest up, which I'm sure we'll talk about at some point, about how that happens and how that works. And so I just got into it. Anyway, time passes. My mum decided to come down and help, and immediately started to see the benefit, really started to see, again, wasn't so caring about the young seedlings, but through education and talking about it and getting them involved, they're now on board with that and understand why that's so important, and also want to see the bush healed. So I digress, but my parents, they decided to, they decided that this was a valuable exercise. So they have done all of this, other than that little patch that I started. They've done all around the dam. And I'm yet to see if that continues. I hope so, because this is a very large bushland with a lot of lantana. And as I said, they don't necessarily see that as a super valuable exercise. I think they're coming around to the idea because they've now done this whole dam. But again, this is a dam, so it's very likely that they're still thinking, well, I can just look at it, and that's why I fixed it, because I can enjoy it. Which is a bit of a different value to thinking, well, I'm actually going to clean up as much of the bushes that I can, even though I'm not going to necessarily be seeing it all. It's actually for the bush's benefit. So that's where I'm at, and it's a very large bush, and it's just me, and my parents hopefully will continue to join. And yeah, so we're going to get into it. And let's go. I digress. My parents, I find it so hard to not speak for just hours. It's a real problem. This is why I find it so hard to begin speaking, especially on video, but just generally, and why I don't, is because when I begin, it just doesn't stop. And I completely lose track of what I'm even talking about or why I'm talking about it. Anyway, I'm working on it. The most important part of what I'm saying here is, and why that's important, is because I don't want this video to be fucking 50 minutes long, right? But who cares about time? I don't care about time. I don't care about time.